Well, I don't know why. I don't know why I actually unfastened that, so hook that back up. Let's get this lighter. I like the way that it just lightens everything up, and it actually adds this like multicolor tint to it. It feels like and looks like I should say. So I'm just going to take a moment and let everyone join. Oh, that wind is chilly, chilly, chilly. I want to be out there. I want to be out in the sun right now, and the sun's finally starting to come back out. It was raining, so I might change places here momentarily. Such interesting weather. We had tornado that touched down and passed like 10 miles away from us, approximately 5 to 10 miles. We were in the range of it. And today it's cold again. I'm bundled up and layered, so I thought it was very interesting how the storms and the tornado moved through right at the closing of some beautiful collapsing of timelines. So I thought it was very symbolic that a tornado came so close. And it was also very interesting the way the tornado was moving through yesterday evening into last night. It was moving through and came like as soon as it started getting to within like 15 to 20 miles of us. I would say probably like 20 to 25 miles of us. Somewhere in that range. It was coming towards us, and then like if we're up here, the tornado just went sideways. It just went straight, and then it went around us and back up, which of course it was not a big tornado. It was not anything that I mean, there might have been a couple of trees down, but it wasn't anything major. So that was wonderful. So it is the season, and I thought, I always find it interesting that tornado season, technically, I don't know when they have it labeled as beginning, but the weather begins right around the time of eclipse season every year. So no coincidence. So yeah, that happened last night, and today I am in multiple layers again. So welcome everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. If you feel comfortable in dropping in the chat and letting me know who you are and where you're from, I would be very grateful for that. I always love connecting, knowing who I'm co-creating with. If that's aligned for you. Good morning, Miss Becca. Good morning, good morning. I'm hoping to move us out into some sun. It's sun's out, but it's raining. So I'm kind of just, I do feel like though that I do feel like it's going to let up and give us an opportunity to be indulging in some beautiful codes. So welcome. So I've got Miss Becca. She is one of my soul pod, or my sacral initiation group space members. So she's in Australia. And then we have Miss Louise, Tampa, Florida. And Nicole is currently visiting Arizona. Awesome. Oh, wonderful. And we have Indiana. Very powerful conversations had already today. Much gratitude. Wonderful. Well, I do hope to continue to contribute to everything that you guys are experiencing today in divine alignment and synchronicity into what's already here, and just allowing it to flow into our co-creative experience together. And if you guys saw the title, we are going to be having quite a handful of cosmic and planetary guides that are already here. They'll be stepping through and providing different tonalities, messages, yes, but when they provide a message, they're speaking in a tonality that activates, right? So those energies are very present. And something that's been coming through for the group that I co-create with, that I assist in guiding, we are going through a sacral initiation. And if you noticed in the description, I was talking about pillars of unity. So the sacral initiation that we're going through is a part of the first order of the rose, or right now, order of the blue rose. So we work within different orders as a part of our initiation into our multi-dimensional selves. A lot of people ask me this question, and I know I've touched on it, but I'm being asked to touch on it again. If we have access to our multidimensional selves, which we do, why do we need to go through these things, right? Why do we need to connect with others? Well, you guys have heard me, I've spoken about it a lot, and I'm not going to go into that much, but we connect with others now based on soul agreements, soul contracts. We agreed that we were going to break through a certain range of frequencies through our vessel, and in order for us to learn how to co-create together as a point of unified consciousness, we would join together with those that carried the activated codes, and we would co-create within those ranges of frequency so that we could come online. So the order of the blue rose is an energy, and everyone I think at this time is probably very familiar with order of the rose or the Magdalena rose. Most people associate it with red rose, but blue rose is actually the ascension of the original coding of red rose, and red rose was part of Gaia's blueprint. Blue rose is part of Terra Nova's blueprint, which is the ascension of Gaia. And so in order for our vessel to be in alignment, or our blueprint to be in alignment with the blueprint of the planetary consciousness that we are co-creating with, we must bring our grids online. So these grids are already there, but they have been in shadow. They have been shut off from the infinite intelligence, the primal source of creation. It doesn't mean that we don't have access to it. It's that the human organic experience for the last however long, at least 25,000 years, has been heavily inundated by illusion, by Maya. Well, the Mayans, they are one of the original, seats of civilization in this realm. And they were the ones that also assisted in bringing in the illusion of organic time. And so in order for us to have that experience where we were separate from source, those that have been here for a while, you guys, even if you carry, especially if you carry a really strong blueprint of higher coding, you are more heavily integrated under shadow because your frequency is not suitable for such illusion. Therefore, you must be basically buried under density. And this was necessary for you to have the experience of distortion. So you're absolutely right. We peel back the layer straight to source. Now, you come equipped with everything that you need. You come equipped with everything that is necessary for you to experience the dimensionality that is now available. These dimensions have always been available. We know this. We have multidimensional aspects, but we have not been able to experience the multidimensional aspects because we were too dense. And so a lot of people will say, well, I am, people understand, I don't want to say that people understand that they are connected to all that is, and you are. However, you are being initiated. You must go through the birthing canal continuously of awakening. And as a part of the fifth dimensional access point, all souls that carry the agreement to be in fifth dimension are being harvested. So you came here, you had an agreement that when the time came, that you would awaken and you would ascend in awareness, and that you would be continuously activated through the frequencies, the ranges of frequencies that initiate your vessel into accessing these dimensional aspects of source, which are dimensional aspects of you as well. Everyone is on a soul evolutionary journey. This means that wherever you are on your journey needs to be honored. You never want to try to walk before you crawl, okay? You might you'll begin to start gaining access to the infinite knowledge, the library of knowledge, as I call it, of Earth. And you begin to tapping into all that's available. And so what this means is that you have an access to understanding what's available, but in order for it to be a truth, you must be immersed in it continuously. This is why the honoring of our codex or our blueprints is vital. So if you come equipped with a certain range of frequencies, but part of your agreement was that you not only come online within that, but you co-create and you exchange with others that have coding. This is where I feel like some people, there's a bit of a gap in understanding, is that you have access to all that is, but right now we are in a prep phase. We are not actually fully accessing fifth dimension. We are in preparation for such. And the way that we fully get into that is the activation of self from within. And this is being continuously immersed in frequencies that provide you with the source of that infinite intelligence, which is, if you think about, if you most of you guys are aware, the earth has an electromagnetic field. Well, the electromagnetic field is the blueprint of Gaia. The field of Terra Nova is light magnetic. It's a different, the polarities where the chakra points are, or the ray accesses are, they're different. So in order for these grids to come online, there has to be rehabilitation that happens. The rehabilitation happens through the vessels of those that come here with the blueprint to do so. That's a part of many of you are going to have many roles, and one of your roles may be rehabilitation. If that's the case, then in order for it to be in motion, you must be on your path of self-mastery, because you must have an understanding through the experience of consciousness and how to access these different frequencies for rehabilitation. That's why everyone that comes here serves a purpose, right? We all serve a purpose. We all have our role, and we are always in the embodiment of purpose in every now moment. So the pillars of unity are one of the primal aspects of this ascension. The pillars of unity are the orders of unity. They are the different orders of frequency. They are each very much constructed by source, and it is a bestowal, meaning you move through the orders of initiation in order, and it's a bestowal, which means it is bestowed upon you because you have been consistently in your unified path of ascension. You have been continuously working in an upward spiral of awareness, and you have reached that point of alignment in frequency. So fifth dimension is frequency. It's frequency. It's accessing a state of higher consciousness. And there are many layers to it. It's not just fifth dimension. There's many, many, many ranges of experience within that dimension. And you have a light body density that accesses fifth dimension. That's where the organic sheds and the light body comes into play. The light body, or the light vessel, is a carrier of frequencies, and your grid, where your grid has been shut down or in darkness, mostly like half of it, as it starts to lighten back up through rehabilitation, when your grid is ready to connect into and begin the work of connection with Gaia, this is where you have a triadic convergence, where you have come into the embodiment through consistent immersion in the frequencies, the rays, and the vibrations of ascension. They are incoming, right? We are here. We are energy. We are always connecting into a consistent exchange of energy. But you also must realize that these organic lines of time, they are connected into cycles, wheels of time. And if at any point you're moving through a cycle, a repetition, or a continual cycle of thought, everyone's going to move through the reclamation of their shadow aspects, right? And so we must reclaim these loops of thought form, egoic identity, archetypes, So a lot of people, as they're transitioning, especially, on the spiritual path, because that's what this is, they move into and through even archetypes of understanding on this path where titles carry power for them. And the title is not the role. The role is the vibration of embodiment that you have been tuned to. And so your role, like if you are now in the initiation of your role as a wisdom keeper, a crystal keeper, a code keeper, and you are here to rehabilitate the lines of connectivity to the organic crystals, you working with them. You don't work for them and they don't work for you. You work with them, meaning they are already on that path, and you connect into that and you anchor into that and you connect and co-create together. Just like when you exchange in an agreement with another soul in this realm, you are exchanging and co-creating. So even if you are an offering of codes, you're always still receiving from the other person. That's why we still have monetary investment to balance the exchange of energy until everyone is at a place where there is no continual exchange of projections or egoic identification projections or loops. So that is where we balance the currency from a currency of fear, where people invest because they're afraid, to where people invest because they are embodying an understanding of self that is outside of fear, that no longer chooses fear. And when they invest from that place, the harmonics of the collective begins to balance. And so this is a process. We're moving through that process. As you guys see it collapsing in the 3D, this is why schools, monetary, government, all collapsing, because we are bringing the currency of exchange into balance, and there's no more necessity for any of that. But we must still use the energy in exchange for the time that we have it, because it's still energy. So when you begin to step into your role, it is because you are activated, which means you are activated. You come into the awareness of it. You have an awareness of that feels resonant. I feel drawn to that at this time. So it activates your awareness. There are different levels of activation. And when you're activated through your awareness into stepping into that role, then you become deeper immersed in that role. So you become activated. You say, oh, that's resonant. That's where I feel called to be present. That's where I feel called to invest myself energetically. Now, if something like that sounds resonant, but you're not really sure what comes after that, that's where you're meant to exchange and co-create with another that has already been brought online for that purpose, so they can fulfill that agreement with you. Now, as you're moving deeper into your roles, you then start going through phases of initiation. So the sacral initiation, the initiation of the Order of the Rose, is the birth into the body of light through the womb, through the crystalline womb, which is the initial access point into the full embodiment of all aspects of your light self. So this might appear, it might be a little bit different in terms of wording for others. I'm sure it might not come in through exactly as I'm saying it, because we all receive based on our signature and our understanding, our immersion in a state of consciousness of understanding it. But these are rites of passage. You don't just jump from having information to being in the presence of. You can know everything, but that doesn't mean that you are in the immersion or the embodiment. Knowledge does not equal truth anymore. Experience equals truth. So the immersion, the continual going into the initiation with the group of ascended masters, the group of key code masters, planetary, cosmic, universal, and the exchange of blueprints with those that are here on this earth plane, or agreements, if you will. So right now, and I also want to offer this too, for the sacral initiation, by the way, that group space is open for anyone that would like to join. If you do choose to join and move through these orders with us, they are 3 month, well, technically they're 6 month, but they're 3 months unfolding or manifestation. They become made manifest through us over the course of 3 months. 3 month, 3 day, 3 week. That's the cycle of time right now. So when you come upon the end of the 3 month, there is a 3 month window where you transition from one order into the next. So your vessel has to move through this molecular reconstruction point and this quantum reconstruction point, which is already happening anyways. But you're stepping into a new agreement when you move into that shift. So everything in the unseen aligns to support you. There is a primal grid of intelligent infinite that we are connecting into in every now moment. And this is something that we are always receiving from. This is our primal source of receivership. And the access point to that depends on the ranges that you are attuned to. You're like a tuning fork. Okay, wherever you are attuned through your state of embodied being, your awareness, your state of consciousness, and your energetic vessel determines your access point to your experience. So the immersion in the ritual, this is what I have been given insight into. The immersion in the ritual is a necessary part of it. I don't want to say most. There are those, because I know I was one of these, where I knew like I could access everything. And I thought that because I was accessing everything, that I was experiencing the words, which was not true. That was and I can even see it when I go back and look at posts from a year ago energetically. I can feel the energetic difference of where, like a year and a half ago, I could feel it. I mean, it sounded really good when I made posts and the words just were beautiful and everything was so beautifully structured, but I was not fully attuned there yet. First comes the awareness, meaning we have the information, we access the information, which gives us the awareness so that we can start following through with where we are meant to be initiated into through that awareness. So this is something where each of you will all have to move through, and you will all have to determine, based on what is in alignment for you right now, what you are meant to be working through in terms of moving through the different ranges of frequency, which brings you online. You are a set of circuits, you are a set of meridians, you are a set of little spherical balls of consciousness, like little spherical sets of crystalline information. There's cords of crystalline that connect into each other, and they're transmitting. But because, yes, that's accessible, you must step into the access point of it. Just because you know the words doesn't mean it's now your truth. You must have those words purified, and you must become the embodiment of it. You must be the presence of it. Okay, you are the presence of it because you are continuously in every now moment answering the call. The call is coming from your higher self. It's coming from your guides. And that's why I tell people, if you see videos or messages from myself and others where there's like a message, and you're always consistently hearing the same thing over and over again, especially in my transmissions, when I'm repetitive, it's because that intelligent infinite source is like, this is this is your message. Now is the time. Answer the call. And a lot of people, and I know I've been the same thing. It took me a minute to step into actually receiving from others. I just, this for the like not right now because I'm going through my own sacral initiation, but I was in a group with JJ's activations with JJ's, and I was a part of her grid worker community, and I was in that for a few months until I was told, and I reached out and I was like, oh, I'm gonna miss you guys. You know, it was the first time I'd actually been in a space where I was receiving instead of always giving, and it was beautiful. It was a beautiful experience. And because we have similar groups, and I've got those in my group that have been that are work very closely with her that have said the same thing, because it's so similar. This means that I have to go through my initiation, and if we're both receiving basically the same thing, but through our signature ranges, then I need to be immersed in what I'm receiving so that I can then bring it through. That's a part of my agreement. So what's happening right now is you're in preparation And as I've kept, this is what I keep saying, you guys, and I remember last year when I talked about this, I had so many people coming to me after the shift had happened and like, okay, now I see what you, now I see why you said this so much, right? Was because there's a quantum timeline shift coming, you guys. And this is a big one, and it's beginning on 4/8 and it ends on 8/8. And the eclipse season is what eclipse season always ushers in collective shifts. But this one is the birth of, what shall I say, the wide birth of access that is going to become what is for this realm, meaning 3D is over here, 5D is over here. Like we're already pulling away from it, and 5D is going to become layered on top of 3D, which means we always can see what's going on in 3D, right? We know we're watching it all the time, but we're pulling further and further away vibrationally, which means those that are still anchoring into 3D are pulling further and further away from us. The split, yes. The split doesn't mean that all of a sudden you're going to be somewhere where you can't connect with those that are still in 3D. You can. We're still watching what's unfolding because we're the guardians. We are holding the frequency. Now, I use the guardian word very lightly because there are those that actually are fulfilling a guardian role, and this is not a title that you choose. The title chooses you, because that's not, and I don't even want to say, no, they said, no, don't use title. The role, the fulfillment, the bestowal is blessed upon you because that is part of your soul evolution, and you have stepped into that position frequentially and through source bestowal. That's how we come into these experiences, you guys. We are given an opportunity, and either we will choose it or source, and by choosing it, we will hear the call. Like many came to this planet because they heard the call. They're volunteers. I am one such volunteer. This is not my planet of origin, and I have not had incarnations here. I've only been here for 2 golden timelines, in Atlantis and Lemuria. That was it. And offering very similar to what I do here, which is expressing what is here and providing an availability for the tides to shift, so that what did take place in the fall and destruction, there's a possibility that it wouldn't take place, right? But it did. So for this, the tides are already turning. It's just an emphasizing of that. So with that being said, we can still access those in 3D. But many people that are on this journey, especially if you're just beginning, and maybe if you're not, maybe you've been on this journey for a while, but the thought of not being able to connect into those that you really love and care for brings a sense of fear for some. For me, I don't have a true bloodline connection, meaning the vessel, the soul imprints from the previous soul does have a connection to that bloodline. But as a higher consciousness walk-in, I don't. But I can still experience what that is. But I still experience the connection to the parental figures. So although there's an understanding of what our relationship is with, I would be greatly, I would be very, very sad when they pass. And so it's something where we don't want those that we love to not be here for us to have that physical connection. But it is also important to realize that as that split becomes larger, that the necessity for us to interact with those in 3D is no longer there. And this is the message, right, that's been coming through, is soul contracts right now are the most and only, like the main point of exchange. Absolutely. And because, and I work with those in my group right now, everyone's going through shadow aspects of self. And the shadow aspects come forward from soul fragments that were anchored into the timelines that are collapsing. So as we were retrieving these soul fragments, these shadow aspects, they are becoming illuminated, and they begin to rise into a higher attunement. And that aspect of self then comes online to a higher frequency. That's the transition point. But there are going to be those that you connect into that show up on your path that were a part of a timeline collapse that you were not actually meant to go back into agreement with, like an old friend, an ex-partner, but because they show back up, because you're always manifesting, and this means that aspects of self that are moving back into purification, any residual remnants of that manifested belief are going to show up. Depending on how strong the subconscious and unconscious connection to that belief still was, depends on the totality at which it manifests. So if they become manifest, they're a reflection of you. So those that are continuously showing up on your timeline are those that you're really meant to be paying attention to. One of two reasons. One, it's either a karmic shadow aspect of self that you get to see, oh, that aspect of me is now on its way out. That timeline's collapsing. It doesn't mean that you can't have a momentary interaction with them, but just don't allow this to bring it back in a continual exchange of energy, because everything's an exchange of energy. And if they're a reflection of your shadow aspect, they're still carrying those unconscious aspects or subconscious aspects. So enjoy the moment that you interact with them and have fun with it, but then let it go. Don't continue to bring it back in, because then unconsciously you're going to become attached to it, because it's a reflection of you, and you're going to really want that, but you're not maybe going to know why in the moment. And then you're going to be trying to manipulate the energy that is trying to align itself to you, and you're going to force an exchange because you think that's what's necessary, when in totality it was just meant to be passing through. And so you have a timeline of higher self that is meant to be fully not only aligning but solidifying through you, which happens when all of that is able to finalize and move out. So you become aware, you recognize it, you become aware of it, you acknowledge it. Of course, you have gratitude for it. We always want to be grateful for it. And then you just let it go. Let it be an experience. That's how this is supposed to be, you guys. The only exchanges that are meant to be continual are soul contracts. So as we are moving out of 3D contracts into light contracts, these exchanges are going to look differently. They are not relationships. They are different types of agreements. And many people, especially if you're still working through shadow aspects, if you have a very powerful soul reflection of self that shows up that you're meant to be exchanging with, at the very beginning, especially because I remember when I went through this, you can become attached to that. You want to be careful, because then you end up projecting what you think that relationship is. And if you're wanting it to be romantic, then you're going to be projecting your desires of unconscious, unhealed wounding, or shall we say that's part of the mother wound, needing to be accepted. We say it's romanticism, but it's actually attachment, and it's wounding. It's needing to have another to be seen and understood. It's needing to have that connection, which is very much something that is a karmic exchange, because one person is honoring the higher aspect of it, where they're just showing up and they're delivering and they're offering, and then they're moving back out. And then the other is like, but I need you, I need you, I need you, I need you, I need you. Be careful. Okay, because especially when you start standing on that path of illumination, it's going to be reflected back to you very quickly, and that's going to give it an opportunity to dismantle, disintegrate, and come into a higher vibration. Especially if you have one like me on your path, I'm going to mirror it back to you really quickly, and that way we can make sure we're fully in alignment, right? But you will manifest those aspects, and so I just want to put that out there. Now, as we move into this further, I'm getting ready to step into some channelings. Oh, I'm already channeling some cosmic and planetary channelings. They're going to step in, and they're actually speaking with me right now as one voice. But I'm going to allow each individual frequency to step forward and express their activated truth, and share with you what they see is most necessary in terms of vibrational frequency receivership and vibrational tonality of clearing, purification. So bringing in the truth so that it may purify. Absolutely. You always want to be on the path of an inner union. And I had a beautiful sister that's a part of the sacral group space with me. She's been with me for a while, but she came to me and shared with me a very beautiful message where we were working through the release of some shadow aspects of her, and she shifted her perception and stepped into that self-love and had a very beautiful experience with inner divine union, and actually experienced the lotus, the blue rose, and the internal ecstasy, which is the true experience of us. We are always in our truest states, outside of density. We are always in a state of divine union. We are always in a state of ecstasy. The only time where that will not be so is when you step into a path of purpose where that's still present. But for that moment, you have a slight disconnect where you are fulfilling another path. You are fulfilling another agreement. You are fulfilling another exchange. And that divine union is still there, just like in the human kingdom, right? In the human experience, that point of separation was necessary so that the soul, so source, could experience itself through each soul and experience itself as separate from itself. And it was necessary. It was necessary because source desired it, right? Source said, well, let's see what this is like. And that's what it's supposed to be, you guys. It's supposed to be a continual adventure, a continual journey, and a continual answering to a higher self. If you're continually answering to a higher self, you're answering the call of the upward spiral of awareness. And always what's here now. Every single day. This is why you guys I don't have a ton of different offerings, is because everything is focused on what's here now. You know, everything that I'm meant to offer is right here, right now. And whether it's on YouTube, whether it's in my group space, whether, you know, we're doing offerings in that space, or whether it's in a one-on-one, it's all focused on what's here now. What are we meant to be initiating ourselves within in that connection? And so, you know, I pulled back, like I've talked about, I pulled back from offering this that doesn't. It's not of highest service, not for me anyway. So that's why, you know, most people feel like they want to step in, they want to have a different options. A lot of people want to have different options. They say, well, maybe I don't want to do the sacral initiation right now, and you know, maybe I want to do Akashic records, or maybe I want to do this certain cosmic set of activation. All of that's present now. All of it's present now. It doesn't need to be categorized into different fragments. So I know that this is a big one for a lot that offer this journey, because that's their source of income. But we're coming into the abundance of self, where it's made manifest, especially in the cycle of 3. And so if you're present now, offering everything that's here now, everyone that's here to support you now is here. And this means that everything you need to experience the joys of living, which means not in excess. You don't need an excess of anything. You have everything. It's right here, right now. And I think that's, a lot of people feel like if they don't have that excess, then they're not. What if something happens, right? What if I don't have some people showing up and receiving in this month or this week? Because you're not meant to. If that's a week where you don't have people showing up, or a month, because that's where you're meant to be in a point of transition. And you are meant to be in a point of receiving yourself. So if you're in a state of divine offering, myself, that is part of my purpose in every now moment, is to be offering. And so there are those that are here specifically to receive through the blueprint, the signature resonance that I carry, which is higher consciousness, Christed consciousness, golden, diamond, and rainbow. Those are my 3 main, because I am monadic ascending. So monadic ascending gives me access to the rainbow bridge. The rainbow bridge is accessible when you have access to all aspects of self in the now. And I offer through those different blueprints, through higher self, through the grouping, the speaker of the higher self grouping, through the speaker of the monadic grouping, and the monad. Those are my 4. So offering that, I offer the different ranges of frequencies, and I know what I am, so I express it. And I give so that others can receive. And then those that are meant to receive the abundance of themselves through the presence of themselves in that signature activation, then the time that we are exchanging, that's what's happening. Yes, I am a Magi Grail template carrier, and this is the eternal template. It is the template beyond time, but within the structures of dense time or organic, well, not organic time, but the ascending out of organic time. So dense time or light body density, and then beyond the density, which is pure consciousness. So these are aspects that I bring through so that others can step into it and remember themselves within that. Like that's what this is all about. When we step into this right now, and I'm speaking and you're co-creating with me, thank you, Tantra One. As you're co-creating with me, you are reflecting the truth of you through what the truth of me that I am expressing, which is the truth of all that is. And these are just the different aspects of said truth that I am meant to bring through to assist the planetary collective at this time. And everyone that's going into fifth dimension, you carry a blueprint, a template of higher purpose. And the reason why you cross paths with certain souls is so that that can be reflected back to you. Those that are part of the group space, the beautiful thing about that is it's a mentorship as well. So as they're working through different aspects, if they have questions, if they want a direct channeled answer, then all they have to do is pop in and say, hey, I would like to know this. So they will receive cosmic guidance in that now moment. That's the beautiful part about it. And they also are able to consistently be immersed in the template activation, the blueprint activation of their eternal oneness, which is consistently coming through. It's not just coming through me, but my signature blueprint is what is opening the gateway so that they can step into it and remember their purpose, which is their presence every now moment, and calling them back into the awareness of the now, because it's easy to get lost in the somewhere else, right? So it's calling them back into the presence of now and saying, what's here now? Bring your focus into what's here now. Tap into what's here now. Let's do this together like we're doing right now. So I am going to, now that the rain has lifted, it looks like on this side, rain is still there, but on this side, it's beautiful sunshine, beautiful clouds. I'm going to shift out into and bring in some solar codes and allow the beauty of what is present in my environment to assist. So if you guys want to go ahead and get yourself, if you're not already ready, in your position of receivership, and we are going to start shifting the tonality. So, and if you want to grab a crystal, if that feels aligned, you guys, please grab a crystal. And thank you guys for receiving. Well, I'll keep this plugged up for now. All right. Had to get a big sip of water. By the way, you guys, we just closed out a cycle of 3. We're stepping back into another cycle of 3. And for those, if you have not begun tapping into your mastery of self, I would highly suggest that be something that you bring into your awareness. Beautiful, whoop, beautiful reflective rays of light. Because that is how you graduate this realm. You graduate this realm through, now your path of mastery is your path of higher choice. You are mastering choice and you're mastering vibration. Okay? So if you have yet to master the vibration or the frequency of where you are, you will not be initiated into the next range of frequencies. This is why if you move together as a group, it makes it really powerful. And that's why, I didn't think for a while that my offerings in a group space were both supposed to be consistent for long term, until I realized the power of that portal, where it is a portal of purity. We are always together, anchored into purity. That's, as stated, that's one of the blueprints. And purity, balance, and purity consciousness, harmony consciousness, are two of the main ones for me. And those are Christed consciousness aspects. So when we are together in this portal, it allows everyone to be in a state of unity consciousness, because we are all together, unified in choice. We are all unified together. And when one person is feeling like they're not in alignment, we can come together and we can be that mirror reflection of the heart, mirror reflection of the higher self, and say, this is what I was moving through similar, and this is, this is what I did to get through it. Or just reflecting back to them maybe the state of mentality of where they're at, which they're not really wanting to accept, but is necessary for them to accept to move on. But not only all of that, but the ability to consistently move through these phases of initiation. Especially, this is why this opportunity is here, and I'm being asked to drop this in really quickly. Maybe you didn't come here with a blueprint that was going to be bringing through a certain range of frequencies, but because there is such an opportunity for those ranges to be available in the now through all of these multi-gateways opening, there's an opportunity for that to be now an added version of your soul journey. So that is why when you consistently are hearing the call, or it's consistently being talked about to join, for me, it has nothing to do with the financial aspect of it. It is everything to do with the co-creation. And yes, there is a financial investment, because there has to be balance and harmony, but the ability to be in a unified state through a consistent initiation into those ranges is very powerful. Yes, I feel it too, Becca. I feel it too. Higher truth, higher truth. All right, you guys. So I would just invite you now to begin dropping in. My ears are ringing pretty heavily. And begin settling into the presence of self. Closing your eyes and falling deeper into the darkness behind the lids. Allowing the sounds and the environment to lull you. You're so very welcome, Miss Louise. And a lot of times, the reason why we don't step into those spaces of co-creation, the reason why we're resistant to it, is because it resides on a path of higher choice. And if you have yet to step into if you've yet to step into connecting into that path of higher choice, you will feel resistant to it. Anytime you're on the threshold of ascending into a higher point of awareness, there's going to be resistance. And so if that keeps showing up, it's because you're meant to shift into that point of experience. And as you begin to fall deeper into the darkness, allowing the wind, the birds, my voice to be music, to bring you into a state, a flow, just lulling you. Now, the 9 pillars of unity, the 9 pillars, or the 9 orders If there was resonance in the message that was provided today, this is your call. You are ready, and the time is now. And that was a message that actually came through for my sacral initiation group. And if you do join now, you will have access to all previous recordings. You also have access to mentorship in every now moment. Surias kiara iki ushkarash andara ikura ilala umbatash utia kinara ikarash isatai ubatash india kura reyasakaru sataya shakuaya katai anasta allowing yourself to rest in the heart, to rest in the Om. And if you feel so called, you can join in expressing the Om, vibrating the heart, the higher heart. And just allowing yourself to feel the openness, to feel the vibration. Now, although I cannot bring through the agreement of the order, I can bring through points of activated coding, which will further prepare you for stepping into the initiation. Reiki kuriaski tarik shkura nda ata iti kura iti atur iti atur iti atur iti atur. Satatata ikutu ikututu ikututu ikututu. And you are being invited to ask your higher self if you are ready for the initiation, and if so, who you are meant to be receiving the initiation through. Because the initiation is coming through a reflected gateway of self. Even myself, when it came in, it was coming in for myself, but it was also coming in to open that gateway and to offer others. So we are doing it together. Which is necessary. The sacral is also the space of organic birth, where the collective is born through, which it is necessary for us as a collective unified to move through the initiation or the order of the blue rose. The order of the blue rose is a collective order. It is an order of frequencies, and there are those within the order that carry the template, which are there consistently offering. I would also ask now what planetary guides would like to step forward as we move into activation. There is an energy called sonat. Now there's sonak, right? But there's sonat, which is another energy, and this is an Earth Collective Council. And sonat is the expressed speaker. And so this Earth Council is stepping forward to bring through activated codes in preparation for this collective shift, and also in preparation for your vessel. You're always being prepped to come into a higher frequency of self, to come into a higher connection to source. Although you are born of source and you are the expression of source, source is always calling itself back into itself. And in order for it to come back into itself, it must pass through all the different activated progressions, which means there's always something there that is given for us to answer. And when we answer the call, then we step into the next phase of source receiving itself. So I would ask Sonat to step forward. This is Sonat. I am coming to you now as an expression of this collective voice, which is an inner earth council. And we are coming to you from a an interdimensional realm. Dogur. Beautiful. Sonat. Gorishtara. I am the speaker of this council, and we are here as a collective of what you would say are humanoids. We have the capacity to be fully immersed in the crystalline waters of our realm, and we have what is proclaimed and what is understood as mer people. We have the fins. And we come to you now, and I am expressing on behalf of this council to bring forth a message. And this message that is flowing through this channel and this vessel carries with it the frequencies of the crystalline waters of Dogur. These crystalline waters are not very different from earth waters, but they are slightly. They carry crystalline frequency, and they carry the exchanges of encoded frequencies. And therefore, our vessels are encoded to continuously be in exchange with these crystalline frequencies. And this is the experience of our realm. And we are fully immersed in a fifth dimensional range of frequencies, which would be understood to be a higher range of fifth dimension. And we would now bring through this vessel an activated range of crystalline connection. And this crystalline connection is going to be speaking to the crystalline grid flowing through your vessel. This set of crystalline codes is coming in from the Earth Star Chakra, which is feeding from the lower realm of fifth dimension. And as this is necessary in the now for the experience, for the vessel must come into an accommodation of these ranges of fifth dimension. The message we would like to bring forth preceding the activation is a message of courage. Shuturu ikia. Shuktoru undaraki osatai umbaria sakia kuria sakara. Courage. We use this word very purposefully. Sometimes courage is perceived as being courageous. The courage that we are purposefully using, let us outline it in the tint of hope and of purity. For when you are stepping into courage, you are pure and you are hopeful. You are expressing from a state that understands itself and understands its truth. This is necessary. The collective needs your voice. The planet needs your voice. And we understand that it is very easy to connect into fear and to connect into worry and to connect into the what if. What if I'm not really seeing this? What if I'm not really experiencing this? What will other people think? What if I don't say it right? What if the same thing happens this time that happened last time? All of these what ifs are projections of fear, and they keep you trapped. They do not allow you to be in an experience of now. Our message of courage asks you to step into the self that understands that, yes, you might not understand or know the way. You might not know the way because maybe you cannot fully see the way, because the way is falling beneath your feet in every moment. It is appearing before you in every now moment. It is not going to be projected through and in front of your vision for 10 years to come. That is not the way. The path falls beneath your feet and you see exactly what you need to see. That does take courage, because this means that the unknown is present in every now moment. That's the beauty of the journey. That's the excitement, is the unknown. Allowing your inner child, the eternal inner child of light, to guide you. Not the wounded inner child, the pure child of light. The version of you that you are always connected to. This child is always guiding you, just as your higher self. And we would like to bring it forth that your eternal inner child is your higher self. Allow your inner child to guide you. Step into courage. Step into acceptance. Release resistance. For now, there is a great jump upon you. For many, this is going to appear as a leap of faith. And in truth, it is. The only thing that is necessary for you to have in the now is a vessel that is ready, a vessel that is prepared, and a state of consciousness that holds the awareness of all is well, that you are exactly where you need to be. This is Sonat. Thank you for allowing me to express on behalf of the Inner Earth Council. And now we bring through the frequencies of crystalline activation. These different tonalities, these different frequencies are activating different vortices within the vessel. They are activating the molecular structure of water. Calling forth the blue aquamarine emerald shield of light. Calling this forth, activating tonality and frequencies within this range. So just allow yourself to be immersed in the coating of light ray, in the coating of frequencies, in the energetic vibration that is bringing you into the experience of this heart and higher heart opening. Teritush kari asa. Teri eter is urshiak amat ai ut as ir uk urk is ork is ark is urk as aru and asking this ray to envelop each of you, further opening and activating the portal of self. Shukur titi uri sakar akura shatai atai ura satai shatai 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 undararai ir ushatarai ir ushatarai 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 akarikash shatur kutai shutur ikur isutua Isha ta 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 ur is ur is ur is ur is ush shkush shkush. Utarai askarai ushkarak ut ushkurak is atarak paktarak ut ishkurak is ut indara ta 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 urk ashku shurkiya su su su. We now have coming forward from the cosmic blueprint, cosmic grid, Arcturian star mothers. So we have activated and the earth grid is lighting up, which is assisting in bringing forth. The wind has really gotten up since I began this earth activation. The earth grid is really, really, really activated and lit up, which is clearing any shadow selves, any shadow aspects. It is bringing them to the forefront of illumination. It is calling them into vibrational harmony with the activated self. Asking Grandmother Wynn to work with us within this ray to cleanse and purify the mental and emotional fields. Now, I love that. And you are welcome. Now comes in the cosmic activation, Arcturian. I'm beginning to feel a lot of tingling and itching on the top of the head. There's an Arcturian star mother that is going to come through my vessel and is going to use the vessel to express the message and to begin the activated frequencies of attunement. I now call back my consciousness and I allow the Arcturian star mother to step in. Please join us. This is the Arcturian star mothers. And you may understand the presence of this spoken voice to be known as Sutu. We are so grateful to be present, to be able to use a throat chakra and express the tonalities of truth that are present now. The message that we speak is embodied or enframed in prosperity. The prosperous self, the abundant self, the knowing of the self as both so below and as above. And to know that you are all that is. We see so many as we are watchers, guardians, and assisters. We are guides to assist you on your journey. For we too have known this point of ascension, maybe not in this realm, but we have known this point of ascension. For some of us, some others, the journey was a bit different. But we come in a collective voice to offer the energetic frequency of activation and to allow yourselves to feel the immersion in the abundance of self, to look within, to know that you are connected to this cosmic grid of light, that you are always in consistent receivership and calling. Shakusha, which means your vessel is calling you to step into a higher frequency. It is time. Your vessel will let you know when it is time. Only the mind can stop the vessel from ascending. The vessel is the embodiment of the consciousness, and the vessel will always follow the upward spiral of conscious ascension. Many of you hold this concern of, what if I don't meet myself there? What if I can't meet myself there? The truth, beloveds, is that you are already there. All you must do is accept this truth. Each version of you on your journey is merely a version of activated experience. Just as frequencies, tonalities, specific vibrational and energetic experiences are offered through the transmission that is in motion now, allowing you to be immersed in different points of experience. You are already there. All you must do is rise into the continual acceptance of this truth, allowing anything and everything on the path that was already experienced to fall away. Energy is always in motion. You are meant to be moving on this path of unity in the continual evolution or forward momentum or upward spiral of ascension, meaning you are taking the next step through your awareness, and in and through that awareness you choose to accept that that is where you already are. And everything that once was there for your experience will fall away. That energy will continue on its destined path, just as you will continue on your destined path. We will now bring through the range of frequencies to light up the cosmic grid. We would invite you to bring your awareness inwardly, to connect into the circuitry of self, to see the different stars and cosmic orientations that are held within your cosmic lineage, and to allow your awareness to flow from one connection to the next, one circuit to the next, to light yourself up from within as these frequencies support and align from within you. This is the Arcturian Star Mothers. Thank you for allowing us to speak through this vessel. We will now bring through the attunements. We call forth from the 5D etheric the frequency exchange. We call forth from the 5D etheric the necessary attunements for energy bodies. We will now join each of you within your energetic fields, within your etheric fields, to further finalize the attunement. So you may feel us energetically in your presence. Okay. And I will continue to channel as they are moving into the circumference. And I'm being asked to call forth the violet indigo ray to encircle and envelop everyone. So calling this into your awareness and calling you into the awareness of the presence and existence of this ray. You're being invited to connect in with the Arcturian Star Mothers, to feel the embodiment in each cell, as your cells are miniature suns They are miniature galaxies. Oh, apologies. Intensity of the energy. Knocked my phone over. It actually broke my phone case. Good. School. Just taking a moment. So I'm feeling a bit light-headed and light. My whole self is vibrating, so I need to take a moment, and I would ask you now to feel the immersion in the activated self. Apologies once again for my phone stand and my phone getting knocked over by the intensity of that. Asking now for the mothers, fathers, grandmothers, grandfathers of the earth, shall we say of the Terra blueprint, asking these energies to rise into and through the Earth Star chakra. If you feel a bit of nausea right now, like I am, there's a lot of energies moving through. These earth energies are working with you to restructure and rehabilitate your earth grid, your now Terra Nova grid. You are shifting, you have shifted from earth into Gaia, from Gaia now into Terra Nova. And now, asking the Arcturian star mothers and the councils of highlight to assist in holding, working, and rehabilitating with you in the now, in the cosmic grid. Many of you, if not every one of you, carry a timeline or timelines of cosmic experience that are being reclaimed, rehabilitated, so that your cosmic grid can come online in a pure, harmonious state. So just asking these energies to work and harmoniously and balancing and integrating these frequencies of activation. If you feel a bit jello-y, if you're vibrating, if it gets to be too overwhelming, you can tone down your vessel, you can tone down your receivership, just declare in your awareness that you only want to experience from the dial of 0 to 10, maybe just a 0.5 or a 1. You can always tone it down. If you need to, tap on your heart a little bit, throat. Calling in the activated orbs of consciousness, these activated orbs of crystalline consciousness. Now, these are connected into states of consciousness, but these activated crystalline orbs of consciousness they connect in through the grid, okay? These are activated orbs that come into the grid, and actually they are aspects of consciousness that as you move through your initiation, you will connect into, like choice points. You had choice points of organic timelines. These are choice points, if you will, of crystalline, although on the path of unity, you only have one choice. That's the only thing that ever exists, is the choice of ascension. And once you make the choice of ascension, you experience the one reality, the one creation. And activating these orbs, calling them into integration. These orbs will be different for each of you. Asking your higher self to step forward, to connect into. And we will activate from a unified form. Blue Rose Order assisting. Just calling them into activated range. Tashkuturi asatai ki amaru ari akusha. Satatai ki otei usatadari India kusha. Satashkuri irik ita. There's another wave incoming from the integration of these orbs. Opening up the throat, opening up the higher heart. All is balanced, all is harmonized, all is activated, all is unified. I would just ask each of you to repeat after me. I am complete, and so it is. Sealing the ray point activations. Sealing the frequency point activations. Activating or sealing the activated crystalline frequencies. Grid is sealed. Grid is sealed. Grid is sealed. We are complete, and so it is. Okay, thank you guys. Thank you guys for receiving. It was a pretty powerful activation. I know we did not go into and through the heart for this one, but this was exactly what was asked. I am always bringing through what is necessary. And I want everyone to be aware that although we did not, quote unquote, travel through the portal of the heart, at the very beginning, there was an opening of the heart. So we were able to energetically be in continual exchange with the heart. And that was what was happening. We were continuously moving through an exchange with the heart, the crystalline chambers of the heart, the crystalline grid of the planets, and the crystalline grid of the cosmos, as above, so below, as within, so without. So I hope everyone enjoyed this as much as I did. I am super grateful to have been able to bring this through. And it's very interesting that the, oh, I'm just now seeing all your comments. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I've never had my phone get knocked over and break before. So it actually, and this is a pretty thick plastic. Yeah, so one whole half of it got broke off. New beginnings. New beginnings. Thank you all so very much. And please be aware, please have awareness that the vibrations of this, there has been a consistent, you guys have heard me talk about this, I'm sure you are aware of it, not only through what I have said, but you're aware of it, you're experiencing it, others are experiencing it and expressing it. The time collapses. There are time warps happening, which means the singular expression of organic time, the illusionary Mayan time, is warping into the oneness, the unified time, which is the unified consciousness. What took place during these activations was speaking to the molecules and to the cells and directing them into a higher vibration of connection. This allows the availability now for you to connect into not only a higher expression and experience of you, the quantum that we are shifting into is different. It is not the organic quantum, because a quantum molecular is based on the frequencies of vibration, whether they're organic or whether they're crystalline, right? So allow yourself what is necessary and needed, and only what is necessary and needed. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, beautiful. And I am super grateful that each of you chose to receive. If you feel that it is time for you to step into, as we move through this next big leap this year in the collective, if you feel that it is time, if the call that has been put out here felt aligned, where it is time for you to step into your initiation into the rose order, please let me know. The space that I have open and we are co-creating with is moving through the initiation of the rose, the blue rose right now, which is the initiation of the rose order. And it is the very first one for those that just joined. So if you would like to join us, you will have access to all previous. Now, the only thing I will say is I no longer have access to my Zoom. I'm using WebEx. So there are a handful of, like, maybe 4 sessions that are not available. I will put that out here in just 1 second, my dear. So I'm sorry about that, but energetically, everything that was brought through is here now. So although there is no visual connection into those, just know that it is layered within everything that is coming through these offerings. So we are being initiated through the vessel, and we are being initiated into the crystalline womb, the sacral initiation, the rose. So I love that you mentioned the numbers, because the numerical sequence that we have been in is 3-5, which is 8. And there have been there has been 2 and 4 supporting, which is 7, and the unified 9, and those have been very present vibrationally. We've been talking about it a lot in the group, so I love that you express that. That'd be wonderful. We're using WebEx, which is what I'm paying for right now. I have a subscription. It's just like Zoom. It's actually better, I feel. I used Zoom for all my stuff up until now. But when I went through it was very interesting. And I want to share this because for those of you that are in a business standpoint, although I don't label my offerings as business anymore, that's why I don't have a website. When the subscription, I was still paying for it, but when I had too many recordings, and I was trying to contact them to clear the recordings so I could just continue on with a subscription, and I could never get through. And the date that they were going to clear everything was on the date that we were beginning our next phase of the sacral initiation. Never a coincidence. And WebEx Meet came into my awareness, and that's what we all shifted into, and it's worked wonderfully. So things like that are never a coincidence, you guys. So when they are showing up in the organic manifested form, pay attention, as I'm sure each of you do. But even in the business aspect, sometimes we can go into the, oh, it's so frustrating, like I can't get this done, and everybody's going to be so used to this and they want to do this. No, we are always going to move into the co-creation with each other in the manifested form that is of greater alignment. So I just want to throw that out there because that was my experience, and it was beautiful to go with that. And it was very interesting because as a group, we all moved through that experience of letting go of like a year's worth of recordings, almost, probably like 6 months. So thank you guys. Actually, it was about a year's worth. So thank you guys. You can reach out to me. Absolutely. That's how we're rehabilitating and coming into the mainframe, the new mainframe. The rehabilitated mainframe is to do things differently, not do things the same. And that's why I was drawn away from doing the website and all of that. For those of you that do, it just wasn't in alignment for me. So I know that those that are meant to show up and co-create with me and exchange with me will find me in the exact now moment that they are meant to. And that's the beauty of being present through this state of unified consciousness. So you may reach me on Instagram, which might be a little bit quicker, might be a little bit easier, which is Éoacci.ein. If Becca or if anyone wants to type that, Becca, I know you're familiar if you're still here with my Instagram. Just Éoacci.ein. So EOACCI.EIN. You can reach me on there. And then my email is divinesolarfemininerising@gmail.com. divinesolarfemininerising@gmail.com, and I will have that in the description on here once this wraps for anyone that's interested. And we will actually be anchoring into the eclipse portal coming up as a part of the initiation. I want to put this on here really quickly for anyone that's interested. Very, very, very powerful thing is going to be happening. Thank you, beautiful. For those in my group. We are going to be anchoring into the pathway of the eclipse. So our vessel will be following the same pathway as the eclipse. And you can think of it as doing grid work with the sun and the moon at the same time. So that was what that dropped in, I think 2 days ago, was this is what's coming through in your next major portal anchoring. So we have lives such as this for just that group, in between when I'm coming live on here, and we just had one, what was it, not yesterday but the day before. So those are accessible on YouTube via a link, and there's a WhatsApp group. That's where we all talk, and that's where you guys have access to the mentorship. But this is going to be very powerful because the meridians of the new Earth, of Terra Nova, are syncing up with specific energies that are coming through these eclipse portals. So we are actually being initiated through the portal of the eclipse for this rose order. It's a very important part of our initiation. That's what I'm hearing. So for those of you that are interested, that want to jump in, there is an investment. It's $277 per month. Now, it's not recurring. Keep in heart, it's not only about the lives, but you have a continual access to mentorship and guidance and everything that drops in, all the codes, all the insight, everything we co-create together. You can make payments. So, and like if you can't make it, like if you've got something else set up, your energy is still, once you step into that agreement, your energy is already there with us. And the physical tuning in, right, is coming through at the exact now moment that it's meant to. But energetically, once you accept that agreement, you are energetically connected into everything that's being exchanged through that agreement. And so even if you're not present in the physical, that's okay. That's what the replays are for, right? That means you're always aligning to it in the now moment you're meant to. So it's a month to month. If you want to join the next month, you can. If you don't want to join the next month, you can. But you will still have access to all of the videos up until the month that you leave. So it's a very beautiful space. Those that are there with me have been with me for a little while, and this is an understanding and agreement where there is a continual exchange in the highest order. And that's what is taking place. We are consistently, each of us, bringing through our specific signature of new Earth through the orders of initiation, the orders of ascension. And those have started dropping in because it's time. This eclipse is ushering that in. It's time. So if you're interested, please reach out. $277. You can make payments. I know since some of you might hear this and you're wanting to jump in on the eclipse aspect pretty quickly, if you need to make half the payment before and half after, that's okay. Just let me know. I always want to work with everyone. Okay, I'm not going to be rigid on like it has to be, like it does have to be here by the date that it reoccurs every month, because that's just fair for everyone. But you can make payments always. So I will work with you on it. Just let me know, you guys. All you got to do is let me know. We'll work around it and we'll make it happen. Okay. So I love you guys so very much. And for those of you that are going to be joining us, super excited to have you. It is a very beautiful soul family, very beautiful. And, I honestly wouldn't want to co-create with any other souls than those that I am consistently immersed in, because it's our soul contract, right? We are there because we are a cosmic family that has agreed to work together, co-create together within these stages of initiation. And that's why we come together. We have continual exchanges with, what I feel is we have the exchanges with all the groups we need to have until this time. Then we tap into and connect with our main group, and we ascend with that group. And that's something I've been bringing through for some time, but it's definitely here now. So if that feels aligned, if that feels resonant, please reach out. Thank you guys for joining. I thank Grandmother Wind. I thank all of the energies that joined us. I thank you. I thank you. I thank you. I am so grateful for all of the energies that came through today. Super. Like I was vibrating so much there at one point, I thought I was going to pass out. That's why I had to pause. So please tune in and listen to this as many times as you feel called. And but also listen to your vessel. Don't overdo it. So, and drink plenty of water. And I love you guys so very much. And I do look forward to hearing from those of you that are going to be joining us. And let's do some co-creation together. Good work together. Okay? I love you guys. Until next time, have a beautiful, blessed, and abundant experience always. Adonai.